Hi ladies, today I'm here with Jess, sex and relationship expert. We're going to tread into some very dangerous waters when we talk about sex. This topic can be very polarizing, so I want you to just be warned. And please keep your comments nice. We're just having a dialogue. Okay. So,
there we go. Now you gave me goosebumps.
I want to talk about swinging. And the reason I want to talk about swinging is not because I'm swinging, but the reason I find the topic really interesting is because marriages can last a very long time. And what we've talked about, you and I, in the past is just how it's hard to keep that fire going in your bedroom when you're with the same person for a really long time. And we've talked about how to make yourself feel sexy or, get yourself ready and in the mood. And this is where I find the topic of swinging, ironically, kind of interesting.
1 in 5 people has been in a non-monogamous relationship. We're seeing that it's on the rise with young people who are redefining relationships because they've seen the failing data around traditional monogamous marriage.
So
consensually non-monogamous.
Consensually?
So
okay.
yeah.
Right.
So CNM relationships is what we call them. Consensually non-monogamous relationships versus monogamous relationships have similar levels of relationship satisfaction, communication, passionate love, but people in CNM relationships, so consensually non-monogamous relationships, have higher levels of trust and lower levels of jealousy. Overall, we have seen so far, no net benefit to one over the other. The reality is some of us are better suited to monogamy and some of us are better suited to consensual non-monogamy. So I'm working a lot with swinger couples and people will say, oh yeah, but you know what? I knew this couple who had a consensually non-monogamous relationship or they were swingers, my neighbor's friend's butcher, and it was disastrous. It was a mess. Or they'll say, well, I tried that once and it didn't work for me, so it's not possible. Guess what? That's one experience, right? Your anecdote does not amount to data. Moreover, how many monogamous relationships are actually non-monogamous? The C is missing, the consensual monogamy is missing. How many monogamous relationships end in dissolution, in divorce, in split? We see that we've got around a 41% divorce rate. We have plummeting marital satisfaction rates. We have millennials who are saying, I'm not even gonna get married. Now, I'll be really clear. Swinging or consensual non-monogamy, it's only one form of consensual non-monogamy. There are many others like polyamory. It is not an antidote to problems in monogamous relationships. So if you have a relationship that's struggling, you're not going to fix it by saying, let's open it up. No, you're going to enhance what you already have. So if it's a disaster, it's going to get more disastrous.
Yeah, you just have more people to fight with.
Exactly. And more people to answer to. In traditional monogamous relationships, we have this scripted shorthand where we make assumptions about what the relationship will look like, what monogamy is. And research shows, of course, that monogamy means different things to different people. So I did a TED Talk called Monogamish. Yeah, and so I believe that monogamish is the space in which most of us exist, where we look at other people, we maybe flirt with other people harmlessly, we maybe play around with the discussion with our partner, like we fantasize, we role play, we talk. I know couples who, for instance, will go to a sex club, not do anything with anyone else, but just to be there and see live sex.
To get that sexy vibe going, right?
And to see real sex. How can you learn about something without actually observing it?
And that's the problem right there. I think we don't take this time to learn. We take the time to judge because we don't know anything about it, but because we feel threatened by the concept of it. And I do find it interesting because I would say that like many of you watching this are like, oh my God, my husband is never going to have permission to be with another woman.
And that's okay.
Of course.
Totally okay.
That is a threat. That feels very threatening to us. Whereas there was a time a while ago in my own marriage where my poor husband is such a very adoring man, and I just could not come to the table when it came to sex. I had some postpartum, I was exhausted, whatever. And I felt like it was causing a rift between us, and I felt like I was always tense that he was going to want it, and I felt like I was letting him down. And I did say to him once, I know sex is important, you need it to feel good, I can't deliver, I promised that we would have this relationship when we got married, and I'm kind of letting my end go. I will turn a blind eye if you really need a fix. But here are the rules. Don't fall in love. She can't call the house. Blah, blah, blah. I had about 20 rules, and it turned out to be too much of a struggle for him to do it.
Too much work.
He came to me and said, I don't want the hall pass. Thank you. we're probably a little more old-fashioned in our thinking, which is totally fine.
Well, I think it's really interesting the way we judge. And I think we judge because somebody has something that there's a part of it that we want.
Yeah.
Right? There's like, of course I want to feel the way a new guy makes me feel every day. Come on. Like, I love my husband and he's also very adoring.
Yeah.
But there's a way, when you felt butterflies in your stomach? You felt butterflies in your stomach when you first met your partner? It was not because they're special. It's not because they were like the one. It's because you're nervous. It's because you have fear of rejection. Those things are actually very exciting. And novelty. Humans seek novelty. So you can be happy in a monogamous relationship, and you can have hot sex. I know I work with couples. Most of my couples are probably over the age of 55.
And they're having hot sex?
Some of them into their 70s.
Whoa.
Yeah, some of them have been married 35 years. I was really lucky in my 20s to learn when I was younger, to learn from couples in their 50s. Yeah. And they do all these things right. They thank one another. They prioritize their partner and not their children. They accept that other people are attractive. They don't try and control. Like, you ever see people who don't even want them to see the Victoria's Secret fashion show? Now, not that that's realistic, but I feel so badly about my body, I just don't even want to see that. But trying to control what your partner sees.
Well, you don't want your partner to prefer something, right?
But you prefer it. So then you expect them to not want that. So like your body more. And like, I learned this at a place called Desire Resorts. I was 26 when I first went there, okay? And I remember seeing my husband looking at much older women, women who maybe looked less magazine stereotypical than me, and how much he liked them, because those women had something I didn't have because I was 26. They had this confidence. Like this, and you think that that's nonsense, but if you saw my husband, who, by the way, is like, he's an 11. He's annoying. He wakes up looking like incredible. He's terribly looking. He can be with anybody he wants, honestly. Anyhow, my point is, you can't control what your partner sees, what they like, and the more you accept that there's a range of bodies and people that turn them on, I think the better you are. So we can learn from consensually non-monogamous couples, even if we don't want to be consensually non-monogamous ourselves.
I like that, and I also think that's true. Like, I was with a boyfriend once who was very complimentary of other women, but very not complimentary of me.
Right.
And I developed a fear of those things, like, oh my God, the Victoria's Secret fashion show is coming on. There goes my boyfriend. Like, and so I feel like somewhere in our past we are taught these really bad messages. But if we could rewire our brains, to say, I've got just as much to offer. He's with me because he finds me sexually desirable. I mean, he's obviously not hanging out with a friend and marrying a friend.
Yeah.
You will know when someone's cheating on you. It's when they stop looking at other people, because they're afraid that they're going to be showing you a very telling sign, right?
Interesting.
When we look at other people in front of our partners, we are accepting other people and acknowledging that they're attractive, and we're showing our partners it's safe to do that.
Yeah.
But when we stop looking, that's when we start hiding. And I actually believe that's true.
And I know, like, my husband isn't with me for the way I look. The way I look matters.
Yeah.
Because it shows well, first of all, he's attracted to me, hopefully. And it shows that, I put in effort. I care how I look around him. Yeah. Not all the time, but I put in some effort.
But you're showing that you are trying for him.
Right, absolutely. But he's with me because he likes me, because I'm his life partner. When he's 99, I'm the person he wants to be next to. Yeah. All wrinkly.
Oh, I like that. I like you too. I'll hang out with you when you're 99
Snuggle
and I'm
me.
200. But thanks for sharing that. I think that's really interesting to hear that having a consensually
non-monogamous relationship.
It also can spur confidence in a relationship and trust when we would think quite the contrary, right? So whatever.
People who want monogamy, which is amazing too. Yeah. I like monogamy.
I'm all for it. But I like the idea of flipping through the app anyway and seeing who's hot for you. Maybe that'll a little appreciation will get you a little hot in the bedroom.
I love that.
Doesn't mean you have to act on it.
Perfect.
Anyway, thanks for sharing
that
great topic with us today, and definitely food for thought, right?
Yep, exactly. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. See you next week.